Something wicked comes this way by election day. Total Govt takeover of Internet begins. Democrats demand draconian controls state of the nation. Expect huge events between now and election day. Intelligence analyst and former military officer. Every patriot ought to understand that the 2018 midterm elections are the most important of our lifetime. The Democrats are in extreme desperation mode. Given the exceedingly perilous and rapidly evolving predicament of the left, they cannot lose this election season. And, they must win big. Otherwise, they will forever lose their cherished Sodom and Gomorrah. More critically, the DNC knows that it must steal every election inside if they are to retain any political relevance. The Democratic Party is determined to fix every election, at every level: federal, state, county and city this November. As every left-wing organization colludes with the mainstream media MSM, these co-conspirators feel confident they will get away with every election theft and voter fraud they attempt, just like they tried to in 2016. See warning: election theft in progress. Timely takedown of alt media. All about the midterms. It should be obvious to every political analyst that the recent takedown by the social media behemoths of alt-right news platforms such as Alex Jones' Infowars.com is about the upcoming elections. Deep State knows exactly how Donald Trump won in 2016, and they will not permit it to happen again. The alt media played a huge role in his victory, and a repeat performance will be precluded this November by any means necessary. Every major social media company has been given direct orders to censor and control legally or illegally every alt media website. Hence, there will be a quickening of censorship and shutdowns between now and November 6. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. will continue to selectively apply their fake dose to conservative websites while allowing liberals to get away with bloody murder. The MSM perps don't even care if they are caught in the act of lawbreaking in broad daylight by the entire body politic. They're really going for broke, because if they don't, they know their history and they are. See Deep State's intensifying coup against Trump. Traitors boldly expose themselves. The mainstream media is the enemy of the people. Never in modern history has it ever been so apparent to so many people around the globe that the mainstream media is the enemy of the people. What is quite extraordinary about this state of affairs is that the MSM literally operates as the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. Not only do they break federal statutes and state laws with complete impunity, there appears to be not an iota of concern about flagrantly violating the First Amendment. It's especially this arrogantly brazen behavior that has exposed the MSM as the enemy of the people. The biggest MSM print and network platforms in the world act in a manner that is now so reckless and so shameless that they have irreparably destroyed their brands. And they don't seem to care about the revenue impacts. Now you know this is gonna get very serious. Nevertheless, humanity still has the daunting task of shutting down the Mockingbird media, as it's also known, once and for all. When the C.I.A. exerts absolute control over every single MSM story that's disseminated, what good can possibly come of it? The company, aka the C.I.A., is primarily in the business of regime change, among other black ops. The most recent regime change is being executed in Washington, D.C. Their MSM drones have been hovering over the target President Donald Trump since his inauguration day. Terrorist attack, stock market crash and/or hot phase of World War III. What other mischief might Deep State carry out between today and election day? The powers that be will pull off whatever they feel they must to radically change the election dynamic. They will do this for multiple reasons, but specifically to steal elections. The agents of Deep State will create lots of distraction, diversions and misdirection with which to confuse the populace. A major terror attack, stock market crash and/or threat of WW3 hot phase would serve all this purpose. During the fog of war, particularly a highly divisive campaign war, the election thieves will take advantage of so much electoral pandemonium and political mayhem. In the ensuing chaos of, say, a mass shooting at home or false flag bombing abroad, it will be much easier for the deep state Democrats and rhinos to pull off their election thefts nationwide. Likewise, the national security state will be empowered to lock down the country as it did after 9/11, only this time it will be much more drastic. MIC equals military-industrial complex. There are two primary objectives for deep state. First, they must prevent Trump from gaining GOP strength both in the U.S. Congress as well as throughout the 50 state governments. Secondly, they must secure Democratic majorities wherever they can, especially in both the House and Senate. A failure to achieve these two goals will result in the slow-motion demise of the Democratic Party. The degree of sheer criminality and amount of naked corruption that went into the 2016 election fixing process, as well as to initiating the subsequent soft coup, is simply overwhelming. Therefore, Republican majorities post-election would surely make their lives miserable with more unending investigations. The pervasiveness and profundity of this Democrat FBI CIA crime spree, see graphic above, is such that the nation finds itself in the midst of an unparalleled and grave constitutional crisis, and it's only getting worse by the day. Hence, the only hope for the Dems is to somehow blow up the entire political, economic and/or social order to avoid mass prosecutions and incarceration. Of course, the intel community will continue to abet the ongoing purple revolution that they helped start on Election Day. These intelligence agencies also have a large stake in a successful coup because of their complicity in so much domestic lawlessness under Obama, as well as war crimes committed against foreign nations, for example, Syria, Libya and Iraq. Their countless crimes against humanity are all well documented and easily investigated by the Trump administration. This is precisely why de facto agents of deep state such as former intel chiefs John Brennan, James Clapper, Michael Hayden, James Comey and Michael Morell have gone out on the limb to incite an overthrow of the POTUS. Their plots of insurrection are even making prime time on a daily basis. And, yet, with each of these unprecedented scandals comes more disclosure about the true depth and breadth of the ongoing deep state coup d'état. As for the U.S. intelligence community, they went berserk the very day that Donald Trump declared his candidacy in June of 2015. Wiretapgate, Dossiergate, Spygate and Russiagate are just a few of the intel scandals that prove the spooks have gone totally bonkers. Source: The Helsinki Sting. Trump and Putin make secret deal. By wreaking havoc, deep state feels they will trigger a reversal of fortune for Trump, which will then give many of the traitors a way to stay out of prison. It might also give them a pathway to complete dominance of the U.S. federal government permanently if they're successful. Yes, that's just how crazy the Democratic leadership has become. They're quite unlikely to ever give up their governmental power again should they win big this year. 2018 midterm elections. There is a 3-month window of opportunity that deep state will certainly take advantage of. That window is closing fast. It will close completely on November 6. Everything now points to the likelihood that TPTB will initiate a domino effect that is sufficiently shocking and discombobulating to the electorate so that many will not even show up to vote. This particular election cycle is all about one thing: getting the vote out in every way possible. Yes, even illegal aliens, imprisoned felons, undocumented immigrants, dead citizens, etc. will be voting Democrat this year. Whichever party shows up in greater numbers will win the day, unless, of course, the elections are rigged by deep state computer programmers and Soros-paid hackers. Because this is not a presidential election, getting the voter to the voting booth is of paramount importance. This is why Deep State will very carefully calculate some highly distracting psyops in order to demoralize the right and galvanize the left. If history is any indication of what they might do, the globalists purposefully crashed the stock market in 2008 to set up the election of Barack Hussein Obama. They knew they had to do something audacious to create the abomination, and boy did they. Globalist Golden Boy Obama didn't even present a valid birth certificate, so they triggered a second Great Depression as distraction. However, there's much more at stake today than there was in 2008. The very future of the Democratic Party now hangs in the balance. Many Americans now realize that the Democrats can never be permitted to control the U.S. federal government again. Their conduct since Trump was elected has been nothing short of treasonous toward the American Republic and treacherous toward the American people. Deep state Democratic operatives throughout the government are especially vulnerable to criminal investigations, as are the openly seditious rhinos. All of these elected officials and Obama appointees will be in great jeopardy should Trump Republicans win big this November. The Purple Revolutionaries ought to be prosecuted for the subversive crime wave that continues to this very day. Because numerous high-level administrators at the DOJ, FBI, CIA, and other intel agencies conspired to execute a soft coup, the incentive to implement a coup at the ballot box has become a very high priority. Not only did the deep state perps try to steal the 2016 election, they carried out their many illicit schemes in close collaboration with the British intelligence community. See graphic below. They will do so again in 2018 and then blame the Russians again when things go awry. Should the Democrats take control of the House, Trump will surely be impeached. Should they also take back the Senate, the POTUS will be tried and removed from office. This is the preferred method by Deep State, as they know Trump cannot be JF'd Trump, nor can they convincingly use Section 4 of the 25th Amendment. A violent coup d'état is also out of the question. This is why November 6 is such a big day. This is the only way to legally remove Trump from the Oval Office. They will spuriously claim that we the people forced him out of the White House, as Deep State manipulates both chambers of Congress to lower the curtain on Trump's presidency. Special note: the mainstream media is right now calling for Congress to approve legislation that empowers the federal government to literally take over the Internet. The MSM wants to remove any and all competition from the playing field. The major MSM news platforms can no longer tolerate their lies from being exposed by way of the real journalism offered by the alt media. They know that the fake news meme is entirely true and causing their inevitable demise. For these and many other reasons, the Democrats are pushing for total Govt control of Internet. Conclusion: the only way forward for the globalists is to lock down the Internet. The 2016 U.S. election, Brexit, and other national elections worldwide have shown them the power of the net when it's married to people power. As a result, the New World Order agenda now hangs in the balance with the outcomes of 2018 and 2020 election cycles. However, it's of paramount importance to understand that the digital NWO is unfolding full speed ahead. For these and other reasons, the American people can expect huge events between now and Election Day. The increasing number and seriousness of the many false flags terror attacks since September 11, 2001 indicates that Deep State will stop at nothing. The U.S. government under Obama already arrogated power unto itself unlawfully to conduct false flag propaganda events as terrorist operations. Some of these false flags were real, many were hoaxes. Others were a combination of reality and hoax. The Gladio perps who maintain operational control of most terrorist operations have many types of false flags up their sleeve. Their shadow government masters will lean toward those engineered events that clearly demonize the right and glorify the left. These black ops will take place against the backdrop of a teetering stock market and threatening hot phase of WW3. Since 9/11, the world community of nations has been intentionally kept in a war posture. The incessant and illegal sanction regimes are deliberately imposed by the Anglo-American Axis one so as to keep tensions very high. See Operation Gladio Strategy of Tension. As of the posting of this article, the global geopolitical chessboard has never been so poised for a regional or continental war since World War II. It's quite evident that the world shadow government is determined to create a new world order out of their manufactured chaos. Hence, the only question that remains is, will the people be stampeded into war, or demand the world peace that candidate Trump promised? State of the Nation, August 12, 2018.